couple of really good questions in yesterday's video, particularly about Lingard and about the likelihood of him signing and his contractual situation at Manchester United, the likelihood of him joining West Ham, and I've been asked a few questions. I thought it's worth discussing this. This is an avenue worth exploring. I haven't forgotten about the green screen stuff. I've not forgotten, all right? It's just, it doesn't take ages, don't get me wrong. That's the whole point of having the sort of roller blind green screen, because it's quick and it's easy, but it does take a little bit of work. And I haven't been able to do it over the last few days because it's been my son's birthday. No, it's not right, is it? It's not been my son's birthday over the last few days. He doesn't... He's a lucky lad. His birthday stretches all week. No, it's actually his birthday today, which is Tuesday, yesterday for you. So I didn't have a lot of time for video editing. It was mostly watching films and eating cake, if the truth be known. And farting. Not me. No, I wasn't the one doing the farting. The kids, mostly. Doing a lot of fun. I blame the cake. Definitely wasn't the film's fault. I blame the cake. Anyway, so, forced the older ones to watch Lost Boys again. I'm a nice dad. Kind. It's part of the parenting curriculum, actually. Anyway, enough of that nonsense. So the green screen stuff is coming. I've got some really nice suggestions, which, well, they tickled me anyway. I certainly enjoyed them. Few comments in yesterday's video. Firstly, from Vernon Harvey. I like this. This is good. Anyway, so Vernon says, I'll pop it up somewhere or other, whenever I do get to edit this, it'll be somewhere up there. Can you do a video on the pros and cons from Lingard's point of view to stay at West Ham next season, supposing different scenarios of finishing 4th through to 10th? I'm worried we become so reliant on him. He's gone when the season ends. Okay, yeah, I mean, great question, Vernon. I'm not going to do an individual scenario for 4th, 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th. But certainly, look, I mean, I think... Okay, let's take his contractual situation as it stands at the moment, which is, as I understand it, by the time his loan ends, he then has 1 additional year left on his contract at Manchester United, right? That much we know. So you have to think that for Jesse himself, he's going to be thinking, well, basically, do I want to stay here, or have I enjoyed sort of being liberated, really, by playing Premier League football? So I do think the contractual situation is important, but I think it's not more important than Jesse's decision himself and where he wants to be and where he wants to play. Because at West Ham, he's the main man. Now, does that necessarily mean he has to join us to be the main man? No. Other clubs may be looking and think, actually, we wouldn't mind a little bit of that. But the other question is, am I going to get back into Ole Gunnar Solskjaer's team? I think the answer is no. So here's what I think. We're looking at this. We're looking at Jesse Lingard playing for West Ham. We're thinking, whoa, he's good. Look, I'll speak for myself. I think, well, he's better than I thought. I mean, don't get me wrong. Look, we got to the last day when we had the when we did our transfer window thing, or whenever the day he was signing, and we did our video, and we was asked, and I said, oh, look, I'm willing to keep an open mind. He may well work out. Don't know. Maybe Moyes has got a plan for him. I didn't know. I didn't think it was a rubbish sign. I think it was a good sign, and I didn't really have an opinion about it. But I thought, well, Moyes has brought in some good signings. We'll see how it goes. Well, look, he's very good, but I'm looking there thinking, well, this geezer is a lot better than I thought. I bet Man United, and particularly Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, is not thinking the same thing. I bet Solskjaer is looking at Lingard's performances and thinking, yeah, that's Jesse Lingard. That's the Jesse Lingard that I know. Yeah, that's how Jesse Lingard plays. Despite that, despite how well he's playing, there's no place for him in my team. You'd have to assume, I don't think he's quite, I was going to say, I don't think he's quite quick enough for everybody to get into our team. Somebody said in the patrons video, somebody said the other day, Gonzo doesn't like right backs, does he? It's not I don't like right backs at all. I just got my eye on them, right? And I am aware that I think everybody is quite slow. And I think Jesse Lingard's really good. That's why I made the point yesterday that he just seems to slow things down. As somebody, I think it might have been Mitchell, pointed this out in the comments. I said it was a bit like misdirection with a magician, where he sort of slows down and then speeds up again. He falls a defender, he lures him in. And Mitchell made a great comparison, a good analogy. It was like a feint, like a boxer fainting. Looking at. Do you see that? I bet you'll move back when I see that. Do you see? I'm sorry about that. You probably keep. Oh, well, hold on. Is he gonna pop out the? Is he gonna pop out the phone and hit us? I'm not. That's a feint, right? the feint is what a boxer does. Make your opponent think you're going to... I did it again. Make your opponent think you're going to hit him. And that's what Mitchell was saying. That's what Jesse Lingard does. So he does all these things, but I don't think he's got blistering pace, all right, to play on the wing. He's not an outright winger. So is he getting into Man United's first team as one of those wide guys? No. No, he's not. Is he getting in there as Bruno Fernandes' replacement? No. That's okay. No shame in that. No shame in not being as good as Bruno Fernandes. That's absolutely fine. Most players in the Premier League aren't. It's probably Kevin De Bruyne saying, I am. But there ain't many, is all I'm saying. There ain't many. So I just don't think they're surprised. So we're probably thinking, oh, this kid's quite good. Or this old man's quite good. They're probably not surprised to see that Man United. So he goes back there. He's probably going to go back there and say, Ole. It's Spanish. He's probably going to go back there and say, Ole, is this... Is that good enough? Can I get into the team? And Solskjaer's probably going to say, no, not really, mate. So then at that point, Jesse's got a decision. Do I want to stay at Manchester United, or do I want to have a little bit more of what I've had? And the difference is between being a squad member and being a main man, a big fish in a small pond, if you like. I think it was Gatesy who turned around and he gave the quote, George Graham's quote, which is never sign a player who's either stepping down the level or thinks he's doing you a favour. And I think the point is, I'll give you an example, and it's a bad example because it hasn't happened yet, but here's the example. We want a tricky sort of creative player, and we go and sign Shaqiri from Liverpool. You get the impression he would feel he was doing us a player. He would feel he was too big for us. So I'm from Liverpool. I'm coming down there. So I think there's a little bit of that. George Graham meant that sort of thing. I don't think Lingard's doing that here. I think Lingard is almost grateful for the opportunity. I think when he comes down there, I'm sorry I've just said that about Shaqiri. He's done nothing wrong. Poor fella. Probably a lovely, lovely lad. It was the first name that pinged into my head. Insert your own example. In fact, I don't even know what I'm talking about. But that's not for the first time, by the way, is it? But Lingard, I think he's grateful for the opportunity. I think he's pleased that he's at West Ham. And I think he's pleased to be a part of things. And clearly Moyes is just putting him straight into the first team. He'll be one of the first names on the team sheet. So I think the thing is, Vernon, look, fourth, if we get fourth, well, of course. I mean, look, if we get fourth, we're going to... I guess if you get through pre-qualifiers, you get into the Champions League. You're guaranteed another 20, 30 million, something like that anyway. That increases the budget quite considerably. Sixth, seventh, or just qualifying for Europa? Yes, I think so. But you've also given the example of 10th. I don't think us finishing 10th, I don't think we will, by the way, but I don't think us finishing 10th would be completely disastrous to us signing Lingard. I don't. And I think he's probably buying in to Moyes' philosophy. So Moyes talks about it quite a lot, which is a few transfer windows and so on and so forth. The shape of how the team will be in his image. And I think if he's saying that to the press, he's probably saying it to the players. If he's saying it to the players, he probably, if he wanted to keep Lingard, would be telling him, look, if you sign for us, this is what I plan to do. These are the other players I plan to bring in. Basically, we will get better. Which only really brings up a couple of questions then. Number one, does Lingard believe that Moyes can improve the team? I'd imagine he probably does. I'd imagine most players probably look at West Ham now. Whilst we don't always play the most scintillating football, I would imagine that most players think, well, okay, I can sort of play in that team. That's a team on the up. They're improving. So I'd imagine Lingard probably does believe that, and it's just really whether he wants to be a part of it. Now, I do understand that other clubs may want to purchase him, and we may have competition, but that's where personal relationship comes into play. That's where it's up to Moyes and the other players to make him feel part of things. That's why when he does go back to Manchester United, and there is an option to either A, go back out on loan, or B, sign for someone permanently, he actually does think, actually, I want to go back to West Ham. I'll pluck another club out there, like I did with Shaqiri. pluck another club from the abyss who probably have no intention of signing Lingard, but let's just use him as an example. So let's go with Aston Villa, for instance. Let's say West Ham and Aston Villa are both in. You would like to hope, well, actually, I'll just go to West Ham. I know it there. I know the coaches. I know the manager. I know the players. I'm sort of well respected by the fans. Whereas go to Aston Villa, I don't know. I don't know my position. I'm not sure if whatever his name is, the manager. What's his name? What's his bloody name? Who cares? It doesn't matter. But whatever the geezer's name is, the one that used to manage Brentford, he's going to be thinking, is he going to fancy Grealish? Am I there? You know, am I going to play? Am I playing second fiddle? Is Traore going to play ahead of me? What's my role? You know, there's uncertainty there, whereas if he signs for West Ham, there's no uncertainty. So, and plus, we don't even know the Aston Villa manager's name. That is annoying me. I know you're screaming it at the... See that? I know you're screaming it at the phone or whatever you're watching. You watching it on your phone? If you're watching this on the telly... Well, I bet you moved back when I did. See that? Did the old faint again. I'm going mad today. Honestly, too much cake, I tell you. One final thing on this Lingard. Because, yeah, so only Vernon says, I'm worried we've become so reliant on him. Then he's gone when the season ends. I think we are a bit reliant on him. We will become reliant on him. But let's get one thing absolutely straight here. And I want him. I want Lingard to sign. All right, I really do. I really like him. I love what's happened. Lingard didn't come in and then suddenly we were in sort of 4th or 5th, 6th place. That's not what happened. We were there anyway before he came in. So I do sort of have faith in Moyes to whoever, even if he didn't get Lingard in, he's probably seen someone else who he thinks can do the same job. Do we think Jesse Lingard's the best player in the world? No. Okay, so Moyes has just picked a good one. I think he's more than capable of picking another good one. Where's Stiflers? There's Stiflers, right, okay. Stifler says Jesse was outstanding, but if he keeps playing like that, he's worried we'll keep playing like that and his price will go up. Okay, here's the thing, Stifler. If he's only got a year left on his contract, and as I understand it, that is the case. When he goes back, he'll have a year left on his contract, possibly by the time all the stuff's done and the transfer window's starting, it might well be 11 months. The price can go up. Man United can put that price up, but not massively, I wouldn't think. They can't suddenly say Jesse Lingard's 30 million. Because everybody, including West Ham, would just say, no, we are not paying that sort of money for somebody who's going to be available on a free or half that price in December. So they won't. So look, will the price go up incrementally from when we first signed him? Yes. What would have been his price then? I don't know. Maybe Jesse Lingard was available for 10 million. Let's say that. I'm guessing again. What's he worth? Is he now worth 15? So yeah, possibly. But I wouldn't say that would be bad value for the player. But I don't think it's doubling from that. I don't... Would Man United loan him? Maybe they will loan him back, but what's the benefit in Man United doing that? They're going to want to try and get some money from him. But I also think, looking at Man United, the way... I think they will treat him quite well. I think he's, number one, he's been a good servant for him. And number two, I think the club are probably aware of his personal situation and how he's been through a bit of a rough patch. I don't think they're going to play hardball with him and let him stay when he's not needed and he doesn't want to be there. So it's a case of, I think this all boils down to what does Jesse want? Does he want to stay at Man U, fight for his place for one last season? Or does he want to leave? If he wants to leave, we're in the shake-up. We really are. If we're in the shake-up and the price is there, we have to find the money. And this is where it's going to become very, very interesting next season. Because if, as is rumoured, Moyes has... look, Gio did the video about the 60 million. I mean, that's a lot of dotting of I's and a lot of crossing of T's. All the planets have to align for us to get 60 million. But let's say we get 45, 50, something like that. That doesn't allow us to bring in loads of players. It just doesn't. But I think what it probably does do is Moyes got to get his striker. That's got to happen. And then we've got to, with the remainder of the money, we've got to go and get Lingard. I think that has to be the case. I think we're weaker. We're absolutely weaker without it. look, that's a conversation for another day. Do players have to go to facilitate that? Whatever. But I don't look. I think his price has gone up. That's my point, Stifler. I don't think it's gone up massively. I'm not overly worried about us not having the money to buy Jesse Lingard. My main worry is very much him thinking, actually, yeah, it was nice down at West Ham, enjoyed myself. Actually, I'm going to go back at Man United and fight for my place, which he might do. I'm not sure how beneficial he would find that, because I still think he'd find himself in the same situation, which would be going back to Man United and basically being a substitute again. The only other scenario, really, I guess, would be if the managerial situation changed. And I must be honest, I never thought Solskjaer never struck me as a particularly brilliant or good manager. I thought he'd have been sacked by now. Hold my hands up, I said it a couple of times. He's still there, and it looks like he's got high enough in the league that he probably will retain his job for next season. If that's the case, it's not like Solskjaer's going to be saying, yes, absolutely, I will involve you in my team. He won't. So it's going to be what's he want to be? A bit part player, a squad player who comes on occasionally and plays in cup games, or be the main man at West Ham. And I'm hopeful, I am really hopeful, that he'll decide the latter. And I think if he does, two things. I mean, he would find inner peace, inner fulfillment. That's the first thing. But I also think he could not only find that sort of cherry on the top of his career in terms of, just knowing what it's like to be a star at a club. I think what he'd also get, which is a byproduct of that, of when you do that at West Ham, which is you become a cult hero, and you become a West Ham cult hero. And that's really something very special at West Ham. You don't need me to reel them off and list them. But those special players who we have a special affection for, who become cult heroes at the Hammers. And I think he could become one of those. And I've got to think that's got to be worth something. That's got to be alluring. That's got to be attractive, hasn't it? To be a cult hero at a club. You see all the old legends coming back to West Ham. Not even the old legends, even the people who are, people like Ginger Pele and people like Di Canio and people, it's not just about Trevor Brooklyn and this, that and the other. You get cult hero status at West Ham, and I think it's a special thing. I'm not worried. I'm relatively positive.